Los Lunas, New Mexico, they found a temple there, a collapsed temple, and on one of the stones was inscribed in the granite the Ten Commandments, which were written in an extinct Hebraic language that went back 2500 BC. You have the Davenport calendar, which was uncovered in Davenport, Iowa, which celebrates the ceremony of Osiris. And what is it? 1580 BC. And they describe everything that was there. It's in 3 different languages. An extinct Egyptian language, an extinct Iberian language, and I'm not sure what the third one is. And of course, they said it was a fraud, but it isn't a fraud. If you look at the calendar and the position of the stars, it is exactly dead on to that specific time that this thing was meant to be there. So there's a lot of history of America that has been whitewashed. Somewhere in southern Illinois, there is a tomb that has inscribed on it burial place of Alexander the Great. And it was in the current language of the time. And there's a whole story about that, which you can research if you want. But Alexander the Great knew all about North America. He had maps of both coastlines. Okay? 700-800 years before Columbus ever got on a boat. So you have copper, tools, emeralds, tools, ornaments, jewelry that were found buried in the Middle East. The DNA of that copper came from a copper mine that is now in the state of Indiana. It wasn't known as Indiana then, but they were pulling copper out of it thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. 10 that they have found not only in the British Isles, but again at the Middle East and in Northern Europe that came from mines in South America thousands and thousands of years ago. The history we were taught about our world is bollocks. It's rubbish. They haven't told us shit. Getting back to the Grand Canyon. What we're going to discover, what we're going to find out, is that when the Egyptians referred to the Valley of the Kings, they were talking about the Grand Canyon, which is why you had all the monuments, and you still have the monuments in the areas no one's allowed to hike into. Yes, they have found all kinds of artifacts. Yes, they have found hieroglyphics written all over the walls and stories. They also found 300 million ounces of gold still in the ground. Veins of it are running through the canyon walls. That's another reason why they don't want anybody in there as well. Yeah. Grand Canyon's one of the best kept secrets. And when we take back our country here in America, one of the first things we need to do is go into the basement of the Smithsonian, clean everything out, take back all the relics they stole, and start our own museums. Because they have destroyed a lot of things about our history that did not fit the narrative, their narrative. These people cared nothing for the history of humanity. They have cared nothing